Hello and welcome to Coric ASMR. It's been a minute, as they say. Apologies for the minute wait. I really have no excuses aside from the fact that I've moved recently and changed jobs, and it's been a little bit busy the last while. However, I have some time off just now, so I am hoping to record some videos in the next little while or so. First of all, somebody requested that I do some soft-spoken as well as whispering, so I'm going to try a bit of that today, completely new for me, so if it comes across pathetic and amateurish or anything like that, maybe I'll just give it a miss. But the main thing is I've got the movie trivia here. I've typed it up. I've changed location in the room today to try and feel a little bit more comfortable, because I've been getting a sore back and sore neck when I've been doing it before, so hopefully this time it will be less so that way. So I've got the audio recording. I can't see from here if it is. I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that it is, because I don't want to start pottering back and forwards the whole time. So today's video is going to be exploring some trivia from the movie Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, from 1976. So it's a fair while ago. So, like one of the previous videos that I did about The Shining, it's the same author as The Shining, Carrie. Stephen King wrote both. This is his first novel to be made into a full-length film. And yeah, so I've got some trivia here that hopefully you've not heard before. If you have, well, you've heard it, so enjoy rehearing it, and if you've not heard it, then hopefully you learn something today from this video, because some of these things I didn't know. I only very recently watched The Shining for the first time. It was far too long a wait for me to watch it. I should have really watched it years and years ago, but I never got around to watching it. So my brother recently bought it on Blu-ray and he lent it to me to borrow to watch. So I watched it. So yeah, as soon as I watched it, I thought I'm gonna get some movie trivia about this. So let's go. The name of the high school in Carrie is called Bates High, which is a reference to Norman Bates from Psycho. In addition, the 4-note violin theme from Psycho is used over and over in the film. Now that's something that I noticed very quickly into the film, and I thought, it's a little bit of a rip-off. Can they not get their own style of horror, like score? But each to their own, Brian. Stephen King recalled that he was paid $2,500 for the movie rights to Carrie, which at this point might seem very little, but he has absolutely no regrets. He said, "I was fortunate to have that happen to my first book," which, I mean, realistically that's pretty good work to have your first book made into a movie and bought for that, so fair play. As always, there will be no spoilers in this movie trivia video, so I'll try and keep it as I'll try and keep it as vague as possible. If at any point there's any spoiler, the fact that I've said it before this one probably makes you think there's going to be a spoiler incoming, but I don't think it really is. So in the film, Carrie has a mother who's quite psychotic and a little bit mad, or doolally as we say in Scotland. Adding to the mother's character, her psychotic character, is the fact that none of the Bible passages in the film that she recites are actually real. So it's a little bit like in Pulp Fiction, I want to say he's called Jules. Samuel Jackson's character recites a Bible verse, which I believe is not a real Bible verse. Pulp Fiction and the Tarantino movies will definitely feature at some point on this channel. I have done a Django Unchained one from ages ago, so if you're a Tarantino head, then check that one out. Very interesting. Anyway, back to this. Sissy Spacek, who plays Carrie, was 25 years old at the time of the filming. In the novel, Carrie is 17, so that's a 8-year difference. I mean, that's not that interesting, but you know, sometimes it's the same. Like, what's the film? I think it's in Lord of the Rings. Sean Astin and Elijah Wood. There's a huge age difference in their real life as actors, I should say, whereas they wouldn't really be that much older in the book. Stephen King got the idea for Carrie while working in a laundry. Some of the characters, like Carrie's religious, fanatical mother, were based on people who worked there with him. I didn't even realise that, and I can't remember writing that down, so that's very interesting. The ring that Amy Irving wears throughout the movie was a gift to her from Stephen King. And coincidentally, after mentioning Pulp Fiction, this was John Travolta's first major film role. Stephen King was such a newcomer at the time of the film's release. His first name was actually misspelled in the movie's trailer. It was written as Steven instead of PH. The book that Carrie reads in the library, The Secret Science Behind Miracles, is in fact a real book written by Max Freedom Long in 1948. Sissy Spacek, again the lead actress who plays Carrie in the film, would later perform the audiobook. Martin Scorsese saw the film 3 times when it was released in theatres. The original full title of the novel was Carrie, a novel of a girl with a frightening power. I think Stephen made the right choice to just tone it down to just Carrie. That's a little bit much, in my opinion. To win the lead role, Sissy Spacek put Vaseline in her hair, wore an old dress for middle school, and didn't brush her teeth before going to the audition. The makeup staff tried to fix her because they didn't realise it was deliberate. During the filming of the movie, Spacek deliberately isolated herself from the rest of the cast to inject a little realness into Carrie's relationship with the other characters, and it all paid off. Spacek earned an Oscar nomination for her performance in this film. So, that is rather short, but that is some of the movie trivia that I picked out from online about the film Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, and the novel written by Stephen King. If you don't at all mind, I'm just going to have a wee ramble now, because now I feel I can relax after reading off intently off this iPad, and I'll just talk a little bit about some other movies that I've recently watched in my free time. Last night I watched The Haunting, which had Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson. Those were the main 3. And they were pretty much in a hotel. It's a little bit like The Shining if you consider the location of the film. I don't know why I'm saying this, because I wouldn't even recommend it that much, to be honest. But I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I, a couple of weeks ago, rewatched the Beethoven movies. Now, these are or the first two I watched anyway, two movies that are about a family who inherits this big, is it Saint Bernard dog, into the family, and yeah, it's kind of got a Home Alone like nostalgia feel to it. It's definitely films that I watched when I was younger, because as soon as the opening credits came on, I recognised the song that plays. So yeah, if you've not seen that and you're into like 90s nostalgic flicks like Home Alone and what else is there? Well, you know the type, I'm sure. Mrs. Doubtfire. It's kind of got that feel as well. Yeah, I would recommend them. I believe they're both on Netflix, certainly in the UK, possibly not elsewhere. So apologies if you don't live in the UK and you go to search and you can't find them. So yeah, very, very good and nice and kind of cozy films to watch. Yeah, so as well as those, I watched Troy. I had seen it a number of years ago. Very, very long film. I don't mean to talk negatively of the movie, but I will be honest and say the first 45 minutes was a little bit boring for me. Maybe it's just I wasn't in the right mindset for it. So I came back to it the following day and watched the remaining 1 hour and a half or so. And that did pick up quite a bit. So it had like Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom, Brendan Gleeson, Sean Bean, Diane Kruger, I think is her name. She's in Inglorious with the Tarantino film with Christoph Waltz. He's not in this one anyway. Yeah, so yeah, if you're into like historical epics, then it's probably the right kind of movie for you. I think it was around, or it has that kind of gladiator feel to it, but I don't know if it was executed as well. Anyway, yeah, the reason I'm just going on and on and on is because I realise sometimes when I'm doing the trivia of the iPad or of my notes, it's very rigid and maybe a little bit too intense. So let me know if you think that's the case. If you'd rather I just chat away like this, I'm open to suggestions, because I know in my opinion I like for example just what's he called, AS Matt R. I like when he just talks about different movies and different things. There's no kind of, I mean, obviously he organises his videos, but it's nice and casual. It's not too like in the face. It's just good to have in the background. And earlier on I was actually watching Let's Find Out ASMR, which, I mean, some of his videos are from quite a number of years ago, but absolutely incredible. He's got like 3-hour plus videos on historical things like witchcraft and I think maybe Rome and all this stuff. So I mean, it's essentially a really long podcast, but it's in an ASMR format. So I would heavily recommend checking those two guys out. Also, ASMR requests. I mean, she's not posted for quite a while now. I'm hoping she's okay. But she did a really good series on, like, what did she call it? What was it called? Throwback Tingles? No. Time Travel Tingles, I think it was called. And she did a video on Back to the Future, Star Wars, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Harry Potter. I'm trying to think if she did Indiana Jones, but she's also done videos on like Nirvana's history and stuff like that. Very interesting. Anyway, I don't mean this video to be a recommendation video, but I'm just interested to know what you think. If you prefer just having straight factual dialogue that's read off, a script, I suppose you could say, or something a bit more casual and kind of like a conversation with only one person. So I kind of thought bubble, or a thought, there's a word for it? There's a word for it. I'm missing my words today. Anyway, I'm just gonna be quiet and wish you a very good day, or a good evening, or a good night, or a good morning. And as I say, I hope you learned something from the Carrie trivia, and keep your eyes peeled for the next one. I am open to any suggestions. I have some ideas already,